Good morning, son. I'm going to go over the processes of reloading our 40 caliber Smith & Wesson. There it is right here compared to a 45 ACP. Both these cartridges here have about the same energy. The big advantage about 40 caliber is you have more capacity in your magazine. In other words, you can shoot more rounds. The big advantage on a 45 ACP is just look at the size of it. But these two loads here that I'm fixing to show you basically produce the same amount of energy. You got more speed with the 40 caliber. It's a 180 grain bullet, and the 45 it's a slower bullet, but it's a 185 grain bullet is what I got loaded here. So they're both pretty comparable together. You shoot whichever one you want. Well, you got them both, so you can shoot. You can shoot them when you want to. But we're going to go through the setup here. First thing you need to know about the 40 caliber. It shoots a small. It uses a small pistol primer. So you'll choose your small pistol priming tool, or your just small priming tool right there. You will slide it into the setup. You'll need a shell holder, which comes in the die set. You'll need the indexing tool right here. You have a square head on it here. It matches into the bottom of the turret, and when it spins around, it rotates the turret. Okay. And what you do, you slide it into this. There's this black collar around the ram here. You just slide it into the hole right behind there, with the threaded side down, and the hex head on top. You will take your turret. The easiest way to do it is put your turret in position, and you can turn that index tool until it goes into that slot, and then you just turn it into your first position right here. Alright, as you remember, the first step we do, we take an empty case right here, the ones that we picked up at the range. Everybody leaves on the ground, it doesn't reload. First thing you'll do, you'll come up into the full length sizing die. That's the one with this threaded thing right here. This is actually, this other side of this is connected to the decapper. Once it's all the way up into that die, you take a primer, small pistol primer, and you put it into your priming tool. And on the downstroke, when you go all the way down, it moves into position and it primes that cartridge right there. Now the next die here, all it does is flare the neck of the case so it can receive a bullet right there, because this is a straight neck right here, and once it's sized, it doesn't want to accept this this case. I'll go ahead and just show you that right there. It did prime it. It's just hard to go in. You can wind up shaving the edge of this copper jacket right here. Because it will want to cant, and it might cut the case, and you'll wind up having to resize it and all. So you come up into this right here, and all it does, you just want to flare it enough where it accepts that bullet. You don't want to stress the front edge of this bullet, because it will start splitting there. And then now you'll see that it will take that bullet. Because these are not Lee dies, these are RCBS. They're good dies. I'm not fond of them. They're very hard to set up. Well, not hard. It just takes a lot longer to set these up than it would Lee dies. What I don't like about them is you can't dump the powder through the die like you can the Lee. So what I got to do now is take my powder, which what I'm using today is a Reliant powder, 2400. I use this right here. This says great for 357, 44, and 41 Magnum rounds. I consulted. I'm not inventing anything. I consulted my loading manual. I wanted a good defensive load right here, so I went in here and I looked up particular loads that I wanted to use, and I found this Hercules, or the Reliant 2400 powder. and I can use a compressed charge of 9.9 grains of powder, and the maximum charge would be 10.9. I'm just going to stick with this. I'm not going to go to the extreme here. I'm just going to use the starting charge here is 9.9 grains, and it says I can use the Lee dipper, a 0.7 cc. It's actually a 0.71 cc, and it will produce 941 feet per second. That's a good hot load right there. You can load this thing on up, but you get your pressures way on up here to 33,900 copper units right here. So, or PSI. And what that does, that puts a lot of pressure on the case. And that's about as far as I want to exceed this case for my handgun. I'm using this right here, so I'm not making this stuff up, and I don't want you doing it either. So now I got to charge this case. I told you I was using the 0.7 cc dipper by Lee, and all I do here, I've already measured this, and this is 9.9 grains on my digital scale. When I scoop it up, and you see it's a heaping scoopful, I tap it down, and then I knock any excess powder off until it's good and uniform, okay? Straight across. That's what I use. You can use a powder funnel, but this case is wide enough where you probably won't spill it, but you'll just dump it on in there. Remember what I said about this funnel here? You know, when it gets cold, static electricity builds up, and it actually, the powder will actually catch in there, and you'll have to tap it. So you'll see that this case is about 2/3 of the way full. Now when you consider the bullet, that's a long bullet right there for a pistol. You'll see that it'll be a compressed charge once that bullet is set in there. I don't know if the camera is showing you that right there, but you'll see how that bullet is going to be pressing down that that powder in there. So now, with the neck flared, you can actually set the bullet on there like that, and it'll stay. Come over here, pick up your ram, and run it in through the bullet seating die. Now, I'm not cramping this load here. I'm not shooting it out of machine guns, and these bullets do not have channel lures, that little groove that goes around there like you would see on your 357 and stuff. Well, here's a picture of one right here. That's a bullet with a channel lure right there where you can actually crimp the neck of the case around it. I'm not doing that. I'm staying with the straight case on this right here, where I won't have any feed problems going into the chamber and everything. Now we have a loaded round here. That's a good hot load right there. It's as good as, almost as powerful as that 44. I'm at that 45 ACP, which means auto coat pistol. And so I walk through it one more time. You grab an empty case. You're going to have to turn it. Seeing as how this is just a 3-die position, this is a 4-hole turret. You have to turn it back around to the starting die, which is the full-length case die right here, sizing die. I'll take an empty case and get a primer ready. I'll run the case all the way into the full-length die, take a primer and set in the tool, come down, ram it into place, and it just primed that case. And now I'm going to come up and I'm going to flare the neck, and it's just barely too. You can hardly see it. I'm coming down, I'm going to take it off. You'll see, I don't know if it shows, but the neck is flared right here. And then I have that. I'm going to charge this case real quick. Tap it down. You'll see how uniform it is. I'm going to dump it into the case, making sure I don't spill it. Take one of these bullets, place in there, it'll set, and go up in there. There you go, another loaded round. Very accurate round, fun shooting, comfortable to shoot, but very good defensive load. Son, thanks for watching. I have just have fun with this sport. Teach your kids how to reload. Be safe. Don't smoke around this stuff. I know you don't smoke, but everybody out there don't smoke. And wear safety glasses. You're working with primers. Never had one explode, but potential's there. You could spark off the powder and get hurt. This is a very cost-effective round. That round I just loaded cost roughly with the bullet was 12 cents. Primer was roughly a little less than 3 cents. Powder charge was probably about 3-4 cents. And so when you compare this box, which would normally come in a box of 20 defensive loads for $25, please, or a box of 25 for $25, $1 a round. I'm looking at a round here that costs less, around 20 cents. So you see the cost savings you can do. Maybe it won't save you a lot of money because you'll wind up shooting more doing it this way. And you'll trust your loads. Son, have a great life. I love you. And you be safe and teach your kids. Bye.